everybody, it is that time again. It's Wednesday at 2 p.m. It's time for the most exciting sports hour on internet radio, www.letgoradio to be exact, and Facebook Live. It's the Sports Minion Radio Show. I'm your host, D to the J, with the roll away, because that's how I roll. Y'all know how I do. Hope everybody is having a great day today. Wonderful Wednesday afternoon to you, 2:01 right now, top of the hour. A lot of things to go over. Let's go over some things that are coming up right now. We have the Old School Classic Karate Championship coming up this Saturday at Lake Taylor High School. It's the 8th annual Old School Classic, September 21st, Lake Taylor High School. That is 3884 Kempsville Road in Norfolk, Virginia, 23502. New Chinese martial arts divisions this year. Going to have stick fighting, over $700 in prize money. It is $60 for 1 or 3 events, which include kumite, which is sparring. You're going to have forms, which is empty hand, and also weapons. Now, if you want to do anything outside of those 3, it is a $10 fee, such as stick fighting. To add the stick fighting into that is a $10 fee. So bring cash, no checks, no refunds. Once you're in, you're in. You go to begin. You got to do it right the first time. All right, so let's go over just a couple of things with that. The men's kumite is going to be $400 on a trophy. The kata grand is going to be $200 on a trophy. And then the women's grand is going to be $100 on a trophy. Hey, James, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it, brother. Welcome to the Sports Minion Radio Show. For more information on that, please contact Miss Timmy or Mr. Felton at 757-717-7294 for the Old School Classic Championship. Now, we got a lot of things coming up because I tell you, this month is going by fast. I'm so surprised that it's going by so fast. I'm getting older. My hair's getting gray. Oh, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do. Everything's going crazy. All right, so I got Grandmaster Dark in his new location, but he's got a big tournament coming up in October. It's the Grandmaster Jack Dark's birthday battle. Happy birthday to you. I'm going to kick you too. Here we go. The Martial Arts Championship, Saturday, October 19th, 2019 at Atlantic Shores Christian School. That's 1217 Centerville Turnpike, North Chesapeake, Virginia, 23320. Black Belt Grand Championship at expense money. For this must be 4 competitors in each division to give away the money. So y'all need 4 people. We're going to have a lot more than 4 people because, you know, anything with Jack Dart's name to it's going to have like 20, 25. I don't know. They're going to be 30, 40, 50. I'm not sure. All right, so for the men's grand championship, we got it's men grand championship point sparring, $200 in a trophy. Women's grand championship point sparring, $200 in a trophy. And then weapons versus empty hand is $100 in a trophy. Make sure you wear all your gear, hand gear, head gear, feet gear, cup, all that stuff to protect all the women's stuff in there. Make sure all y'all wear that because you don't want to get kicked there and not have protection. I'm telling you, that's painful. Registration begins at 8:30, and then it's 8:30 to 10. The black belt meeting is at 10. Please don't be late for the black belt meeting. Black belts, y'all know Jack Dark don't like that. He don't handle that very well. Be on time. Make sure you're ready to go. And the competition begins at 10:30 sharp for demo team. Competitors' fee in all divisions, 1 or 3 events, is $70. Now, here's the thing. If you guys bring 2 non-perishable food items to the tournament, it drops it down to $65. So make sure that you're there for that. Come out and support Grandmaster Jack Dart and his birthday battle. It's going to be a blast. I know I'm going to be competing for that one. I announced on Facebook yesterday, and I'll go ahead and announce that again. I am not going to be able to compete in the Old School Classic this year. I just have not had the opportunity to train as well as I would like. I've been sick with bronchitis and this cold and everything, and now that I'm finally over it, you know, I'm going to class again, but the recovery time has just eaten up this month, and I really haven't put in the training time that I need to. So unfortunately, I will not be competing in the Old School Classic. A couple of things coming up in November that I do want to mention. We have the Kelly's Choice Cares annual gala ball. Y'all make sure that y'all bring your formal attire because I'm going to be looking good as only DJ should, rolling with it. Bling, bling, y'all. Tuxedos, ties, suits, bring it all. Make sure you dress up good. That is going to be at 6801 Bridgeway Drive in Suffolk, Virginia, 23435. So make sure that y'all are there on time. That is going to be from 4 to 7, possibly 8 o'clock. Going to be a lot of fun for that. Want to announce just a couple of small things that we've got going on. Grandmaster Jack Dart does have a new promotion going on for his school right now. Let me tell you about his new location, too. He's got a new location, and that is Jack Dart Taekwondo Champions is at 1949 Lynn Haven Parkway at the Parkway Shopping Center. That's at the intersection of Lynn Haven and Princess Anne Road. For more information and for more details on that, you can call the studio at 757-416-1120. He tried to keep the old number he had, but he couldn't do it, had to change the number, so I just wanted to give you that for that information. Now, speaking of that, for the next 8 weeks, he is doing a brand new Body by Jack 8-week. It is the cardio, fitness, and kickboxing. That is starting on October 1st on Tuesday and Thursday nights, 110 for the entire 8 weeks. Guys, I'm telling you, if you go do this, you want to get in shape, you want cardio fitness, you want to lose weight, you want to look good, you want to feel good, go do this thing. Because I'm going to tell you what, Jack's workouts, I've been to a couple of them, he works you hard, and he works you good. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of fun, too. Do want to mention real quick, Tiger Martial Arts Academy, they do have a promotion this week as well. 2 weeks of training for $49.95. That includes a free uniform. So make sure that you're there for that to check that out. If you would like more information on that, that is going to be 757-488-3882, and you can check that out for more information to call and get that set up. Speak with Gina or somebody at the front desk, and they will get you going. All right, let's get into some sports right now. Got a lot of things I want to cover. First of all, the Jacksonville Jaguars are likely to release Jalen Ramsey, the corner. Now, I'm shocked by this, okay, and I read the story and basically jotted a couple things down from it. Jalen Ramsey is a type – he's a shutdown corner, and they're looking – but it doesn't look like they're going to release him before Thursday Night Football against the Texans. So, I mean, you gotta see what's going on here with this. They're looking for 2 first-round draft picks for Jalen Ramsey, and he is worth it. I don't know if they're going to get that, and I don't know, the teams that could possibly do it. I see 3. The Chiefs could possibly do it. I was talking to my brother today. The Patriots could possibly do it. I don't know if they need to. They've got a pretty good defense. They've allowed 3 points in the last 2 games. I took a look at the at the Rams. They have pretty good corners as well. So I mean, those are the 3 teams that I see possibly in the running. I asked him if he thought the Redskins would do it because of the injuries to their corners, with Josh Norman having the trouble he's having. Quentin Dunbar, Fabian Moreau are out. They're trying to get them healthy. They're nicked up. To have a real shutdown corner, I don't know if Jay Gruden or Daniel Snyder or Bruce Allen is going to make that move. It doesn't look like that would happen. Any comments on this, guys? Look, if you want to call in and comment on this, or if you want to comment on Facebook Live or live on Let Go Radio, you can call in at 757-774-7552. You can also comment and ask any questions on Facebook Live. I do want to mention, with Jack Ramsey, goodness gracious. Oh, my gracious. Jalen Ramsey's talent, I look at this at a young age, and the reason that he is actually asking for his release, he is not being traded. It was confirmed that he is asking for his release. He would not comment on it at his press conference as to why, but he is asking for his release on that. I wanted to make sure to let you guys know. The other big thing right now, it comes from the Giants, and I'm looking at this, and I was actually at Waffle House about 2 weeks ago, and I said by week 3 or 4 this would happen. Daniel Jones has been named the Giants starter for week 3 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's the thing: when Eli knew that Daniel Jones was there was a lot of issue as to when Daniel Jones was going to start, because Daniel Jones was pushing Eli to be a better quarterback and be a better quarterback in general. And what happened when you look at what's happened, they've been beat 63-31 in their last 2 games. The offenses against them are putting up 420 yards per game, and they have an 0-2 start. So the Giants are making a move now to go ahead and put Daniel Jones at the helm. In reading the article, Coach Shermer said this: it's not so much about Eli as it is moving forward with Daniel Jones. Now, and here's the thing. I think Eli knew this was coming. I think Eli knew this was going to happen. When I was speaking with a couple of guys that I was talking to, even Giants fans, they want to see this happen. Daniel Jones has a spark. And I said the first game of the preseason when he missed that first pass and everybody jumped all over him and said, oh, the Giants shouldn't have drafted him. He's this, that, and the other. He's not a good quarterback. This kid knows what he's doing, and he's got a lot of skill. And the problem is, and when you put a new quarterback in that the team is excited about already, they're going to play harder and they're going to play for him. Not that they don't play for Eli Manning. I'm not saying that. Eli Manning's a veteran. He's got great skills. He's been playing for a long time, and he knows the game. But in the sense of trying to put a spark or a fire under a team, when you need a team to have a spark or that fire that I'm talking about, sometimes bringing that new quarterback in gives that spark in itself. Now, I also want to talk about the Redskins a little bit too, because I actually listened to Michael Lombardi's podcast the other day, and this was, to say the least, this was an informational podcast about Jay Gruden. It was about Daniel Snyder. It was about Bruce Allen. I'm going to make a prediction. I don't think Jay Gruden is going to last the season. And here's the thing. You look at Jay Gruden's face, and this was in the podcast as well. You can see it and you can hear it in his voice. He's not all there. He's just kind of coasting, trying to get through, whatever happens. The Redskins have no culture. They have no identity. They don't know really what they want to do. And they've got all the injuries again. So there's no culture there. There's no way of doing things to win. And they've got talented players on the team. I mean, you're looking at even Case Keenum, you're looking in his past 2 games. He threw 3 touchdowns in his first game. He threw 3 touchdowns, 380 yards. Second game, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, you gotta see that, Keenum and being in there. I mean, you've got Josh Norman, you've got Chris Thompson, you've got Adrian Peterson, you've got McLaurin, the receiver, who's absolutely tearing it up every week. I mean, they're hitting him long, they're hitting him short, but it's not like they can't score. It's not like they can't move the ball and get where they need to go. The problem is that when you have a defense that has to go out and then you have a 3 and out and you've got to go right back out again after a 10 or 15 play drive, your defense is tired and they're not conditioned. They're out of shape. They don't practice hard. It's like, Michael Lombardi was talking about the Patriots. At the end of practice, the Patriots run the hills. Belichick doesn't tell them to go to the hills. They go to the hills themselves. It's the Patriot way. When Belichick came in there, they had a way of doing things. This is the team I want to establish. This is the game I want to establish, and this is how I want to establish it. And they went in, and they got the players that they needed to get and wanted to get in order to make that happen. And that is what it is not. And here's where Michael Lombardi hit the nail on the head. It is not about signing that one big guy. It is not about signing Dwayne Haskins. It is not about signing Josh Norman. It is not about signing the rookie safety whose name is eluding me at the moment. I don't know why. He was everywhere in training camp, and he's a rookie and he's great. But it's not about one guy. It's about a team effort that has a philosophy, that knows what the philosophy is. It's not, hey, let's go in and run the ball. It's about balance. There has to be both. You can't just become one-dimensional, and you have to be able to adjust. So there's a lot of that coming in, looking at this, saying, okay, what are we going to do? You have to establish a culture of knowing who your team is. Jimmy Moreland was the corner slash safety I was talking about, trying to remember. I mean, Trey Quinn is another one that's got, amazing talent. I mean, you got Paul Richardson, so you've got Jordan Reed, Jeremy Sprinkle, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. I mean, you've got talented guys on the team, but there has to be a way of life for Washington to play that way and to play for one another. Right now, there's no trust in the organization. It's brittle. The players don't believe what the organization is telling them, because look at Bruce Allen. Bruce Allen has been the general manager for almost 10 years now, and he's had a non-winning record almost every single year. Has the lowest record. No general manager has been there that long, and he needs to be let go. They do need to clean house from top to bottom. This needs to happen. They've got to get the right people and the right style and the right culture in there to make it happen. Bottom line's no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. And that's all I'm going to say there. You've got to get culture in to make it happen. Couple of things, couple of other stories I want to move over to real quick. Let me just go here. Basically, Steelers acquire McKenna Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins for a first-round pick. The Pittsburgh Steelers have traded their 2020 first-round pick to the Miami Dolphins for the safety McKenna Fitzpatrick. The Steelers are also giving up a fifth-round selection in 2020 and a sixth-rounder in 2021, while getting the Dolphins' fourth-round pick in 2020 and seventh-rounder in 2021. Fitzpatrick, the overall 11th pick in 2018, had grown unhappy with his usage in the Dolphins' defense. The team allowed the defensive back to seek a trade. We are excited about, and I hope it's Mackay. I think it's Mackay. I may be saying that wrong. On our defense, the Steelers general manager Kevin Colbert said on Tuesday in a release, we had him rated very high during the 2018 NFL draft process. We thought that he could be an impact player for this league. Now, here's the same thing. You don't look at just one guy. You have to look at the overall picture, the big picture where we're going. Now, this is something I want to talk about big right here, because injuries to Ben Roethlisberger and to Drew Brees have them out for a significant amount of time. Let me just go over this. All right, so we talked about a little bit about this last week, and I do want to mention this. We talked about the injuries to Nick Foles. We talked about the $88 million contract. He broke his clavicle. Now he's going to be out for 8 to 10 weeks. Hopefully somewhere in that time he'll be back a little sooner than later. We don't know. The problem is, in this game, in the NFL, in any sport, as depending on the physicality and the roughness and how intense the game is, 60 minutes of battling, you're going to have injuries on every team all the time. It is a revolving process of next man up. That has been the NFL for a long time. That's how it's had to be. That's how it's needed to be. That's what's happened. The Redskins have had it. The Patriots have had it. The Dolphins have had it. San Francisco has had it. In losing Jimmy Garoppolo, going through this time frame and going through all of this and saying, look, this is where we're at. Going in and saying, okay, we've lost our quarterback. Now what do we do? You've got a backup quarterback, next man up. Talking about Drew Brees, and let's go into this story just a little bit. I want to talk about it. I'm actually going to talk about Roethlisberger first. Let's see. A week after Nick Foles went down with a collarbone injury, likely to keep him out for 10 weeks, both Pittsburgh Steelers' Ben Roethlisberger and New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees left Sunday's losses with serious injury that lengthened their team's respective Super Bowl odds. Okay. Roethlisberger is reportedly done for the year after an MRI on his right elbow necessitated surgery. The Steelers' odds were 30-1 in the score bet. New Jersey and will likely move to 50-1 once the information is released about the team's plans, says J-Rod. BetWorks Chiefs risk officer, and the Scores bets head trader. Now, talking about with Drew Brees. Brees' diagnosis was less dire. He'll reportedly miss 6 weeks following surgery to a torn ligament in his thumb. Rod told sources that the Saints will remain at 12-1 at least this week, while some other books moved New Orleans to 20-1 as of Monday. So we're looking at that. Now, here's the thing. The problem is with the thumb, it's a less recovery time, but you've got to get used to throwing again, and you've got to get used to throwing as far as you've got to get used to throwing as far as, what you're doing, how the mechanics come back, because it's going to be totally different now that, you take 5 or 6 weeks off and you say, okay, you got to get used to throwing again. And that thumb, when you grasp the ball on the bottom, your thumb is down here. The release point is different. The acceleration point is going to be different. Everything to release the ball quicker. Can you trust it? Now, here's the thing. When you have a significant injury like an elbow injury and you're out for the season, I think the Saints are going to be okay, because I'll tell you right now, Tyson Hill is a beast. That quarterback, he can run, he can throw, and he can throw on the move. So he's got the talent to do anything he wants. And I think the team with Alvin Kamara, with their safeties, with their receivers, with their defense, I think the Saints are going to be just fine. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, that's going to be a struggle, because I'm going to tell you right now, Mike Tomlin is a good coach, but I don't think Pittsburgh's going to go very far. I'll let you know that right now. Hey, Charles, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you coming into the Sports Minion Radio Show. Good to see you. A couple of quick things. I did want to cover those sports stories, and I covered them a little bit early, because I have this is kind of related to CP. I don't usually share an element of my personal life on Facebook, but I decided to do this. I'm going to do one more thing sports-wise before I go into my story, but I wanted to break away for just a minute. The scores for next week, I want to go ahead and do some picks real quick for you guys. We've got the Rams at Cleveland. I'm taking the Rams by 10. The Miami Dolphins at the Cowboys, taking the Cowboys by 7. Atlanta Falcons at the Indianapolis Colts, I'm taking the Colts by 3. Oakland Raiders at Minnesota Vikings, I'm taking the Oakland Raiders by 4. The Detroit Lions and Philadelphia Eagles, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles by 3. The New York Giants and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, taking the New York Giants by 10. Pittsburgh Steelers at San Francisco 49ers, San Francisco 49ers by 10. Bears at Washington, taking the Redskins by 3. Bengals and Bills, taking the Bengals by 3. Denver Broncos at Green Bay Packers, I'm taking Denver by 3. Baltimore Ravens at Kansas City Chiefs, that's going to be a tough game. I'm taking the Chiefs by 7. New York Jets and New England Patriots, I'm taking the New England Patriots by 17. Carolina Panthers, Arizona Cardinals, I'm taking Arizona by 7. Houston Texans, LA Chargers, taking Phillip Rivers and the Chargers by 10. Saints and Seahawks, I'm taking the Saints by 7. So I want to go ahead. And we've got, and I already mentioned the Chicago Bears and the Redskins. I'm taking the Redskins by 3 there. So those are my picks. I wanted to go through those and get those going. Now, all right, let me explain something real quick. Now, this is, like I said, this is related to cerebral palsy, but I had a chance to have lunch with Jack Dart on Friday. And Jack and I feel like Jack is just a great friend, a great brother, a great mentor in martial arts. And he has been my friend since I first met him. From coming into martial arts, being a black belt, from getting the first chance to spar in his tournament 10 years ago. There have been so many doors that he has opened, as well as Tiger Martial Arts has opened for me, and I'm very grateful for those. But I was very frustrated on Friday. I was frustrated about a lot of things in martial arts, and as those of you who are coming in Thank you for joining the Sports Minion Radio Show. I greatly appreciate it. You know, and the frustration, Jack could see that. We were eating lunch and we were talking about some of the frustrating things that I was dealing with. And a lot of the frustration I'm not going to go into because it's all in the way you look at it. Okay, I titled this Sports Minion episode, Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. And I want to say that again. This is very, very, very important. Change your attitude, change your life. When you look at a situation and you are stressed, when you are angry, when you are emotional, your vision is very narrow. Your vision sees one way. Your vision sees one thing. A lot of times, your vision will see one problem, okay? And you can't see outside of that narrow vision. That is why a lot of times my brother will say, and I will say, sometimes you have to take a step back and take a deep breath and look at the big picture, not just the small picture. We were talking, and as Jack and I were talking, I noticed that Jack got a real serious look on his face, and he kind of sat up in his chair. And I told him about some of the things I was struggling with and some of the things I wanted to do. Because my goal right now, my short-term goal is to be a secondary black belt. And I'm working on that day by day by day by day and working as hard as I can. But you can always work harder and you can always do better. Jack stopped and he said, I want to ask you a question. Jack said, can you stand up on your own? Are you able to bear weight on your legs? Are you able to stand up? And I looked at Jack and I said, yes, sir, I can bear weight on my legs. I have to hold on to something. And, you know, I kind of, my heart kind of dropped because I said, oh, God, you know, he's going to ask me something and I don't know how I'm going to react to this. And Jack very politely said, I want you to do me a favor. And I want you to do this for you as much as for me. He said, I want you to start at 3 minutes a day. Or excuse me, he said start at 4 minutes a day. And try to, and that's a very good comment, Charles. I appreciate that. That's exactly what, you know, that's exactly what I was saying. He said, I want you to start at 4 minutes a day, and I want you to try to stand up. And I want you to try to strengthen your legs and, you know, get back to where you were. Because I used to walk on crutches and I used to walk on, you know, around the house and do all that. And that was my fault. I got out of it, and that was me. And I told Jack, I said, that's all me. I'm not going to sit there and blame it on anybody else because that's my battle. That's my fight. And I said, it just got too hard. And Jack stopped. And Jack looked at me, and Jack said this. And I quote, hard is just a state of mind. And I kind of looked at him and I went, oh my Lord. Because when somebody hits on something, when they care about you, when they love you, and when they show you emotion, when they want to see you succeed, they're going to put you to a test. I did therapy for 18 years and I was made to do it. My mom made me go to therapy. My mom made me get therapy in school, and I hated it. I hated it, but it was good for me, and it was better for me, and I had to do it because it made me a better person. And therapy strengthened me, even though it was hard, and even though I didn't want to admit it, and it pushed my limits, it strengthened who I was as a person. It strengthened who I was as an individual. It strengthened who I was spiritually, mentally, physically. And God helped me get through it. And I'm gonna be very real on this topic right now. We're gonna hit a topic here that I'm gonna be very, very, very real on and very open on. So I'm gonna let you guys know ahead of time. Miss Wilson, thank you for joining us on Facebook. We appreciate it. You know, I look at this and I look at it right now. What happened to me yesterday was a true miracle. And I'm going to tell you this, and I'll have Miss Wilson come in on it in just a minute because we were talking before the show, and the conversation was very quiet. I was talking, and Miss Wilson was listening, and there was a lot of confirmation. A lot of people say that God works in mysterious ways. Let me explain something. That is very, very true. That is very true. Here is why. I did not want to go to class yesterday. I was not in the mood to go to class yesterday. I was angry. I was angry about everything that had bottled up in my mind. I was going to call, and I was going to stop. I said, I'm done. I'm not a secondary black belt yet. I should be. This has been too long. I can't go anymore. I'm done, blah, 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 blah. And the enemy was just nailing me. And I got madder and madder and madder. And my buddy Steve that drove me to class, he goes, dude, I hear you. I hear your concerns. He said, go to class. Come on, let's get through it. You'll feel better at the end. We go to class, and Jim's teaching class, a good buddy of mine, great friend. We've been working together for a long time. I've co-taught with him. And what are they doing? They're doing kicks, and they're doing kick drills. And thank you, Charles. I'll take a look at that after the show. I appreciate it. I will, as I go in and we start stretching, Jim comes over to me, and he starts stretching my legs. And I'm like, what in the heck is going on? And he's stretching them left and right and up and down and back and forth. And these stretches are going and going and going. And the other guys are doing different kick drills. And I'm training and I'm stretching and I'm training. And I'm like, man, this is exactly what I needed. And I looked at Jim. I looked at him and I said, this is exactly what I need. I said, this is it. I said, and all at once, it's like something came over me and it snapped. And that second that I turned and he's stretching my legs, he goes, when do you need it? I go, well, I had lunch with Jack Dart yesterday, and Master Dart asked me to, try to stand up to 3 to 4 minutes a day to start and then get stronger on my legs and work on my crutches and this, that, and the other. And Jim said very simply, when do you need it? Can you get here on Saturdays? And I said, well, getting here is the problem because I have trouble with transportation. I said, Steve drives me to karate on Tuesday and Thursdays. And I said, getting here is very difficult. I said, is there any way you could come work with me at the house? And Jim said, yeah, we can work it out. We can do, every other Saturday or a couple of Saturdays a month. We'll work it out. And right at that moment when this happened, I realized something very powerful. And I realized why the way things happened, the way they did, the way the enemy attacked me the way he did, and then the outcome of it happened the way he did. As I said before at the beginning of this story, I was ready to quit. I was ready to throw 10 years in the trash. I was done. Okay? I got to the point where I was mad enough to say, look, I can't get through to these people. This is not working. I'm done. I'm done with Tiger. I'm done with martial arts in general. I'm just going to stop. And after I got through with class and after Jim and I talked and I helped teach class again, and I've been doing that for a while, you look at it and you go, oh my God, I almost made the biggest mistake of my life. What in the heck am I doing? So you kind of step back and you go, wait a second. This is what God intended the whole time. And I took a look, and you go back to Friday. And exactly what Jack asked me, I went, I don't want to talk about this. Why are we talking about this? I went through therapy. Now, this is in my mind now. I didn't say this to Jack. I'm in my mind going, wait a minute. I don't want to go through therapy again. What? No, I don't want to do this. That's that first knee-jerk reaction. Then I went home, and I said, okay, sir, I'm going to give it a shot. And I told him, I said, I'll try it. So I called Jack, and I told Jack what happened on Tuesday. And I'm like, wait a second. This is what God wanted me to do all along. And had I quit, had I stopped, had I thrown it all away, in 1 second, I would have went, what the heck am I doing? I'm going to throw away 10 years because I'm frustrated. Frustration is part of the journey. That's part of the growth. That's part of the understanding. That's part of what you got to go through. You're not going to get what you want just by wanting it. You got to get what you want by going through. Now, I'm not going to say some of my concerns ain't legitimate. And again, I'm not going into all that because that's beside the point. Or the point that I'm trying to make is there are thousands of people right now wanting their life to change that have cerebral palsy, but they're not doing anything about it. If you sit in your chair and do nothing, you will be nothing. If you sit with cerebral palsy and do nothing, you will be nothing. The only way to change the way you are is to change your attitude, your way of thinking, and to do something about the situation you're in. And sometimes it starts small. Sometimes it starts with prayer. Sometimes it starts with talking to somebody that you trust. Sometimes it starts with talking about, to your parents, to somebody that you live with. Sometimes it's that small step. That small step. I had planned to have lunch with Jack on Friday. We went to Pollard's Chicken and we threw down, y'all. Let me tell you, cornbread, chicken, mac and cheese, green beans. We threw down. It was good stuff. Go check out Jack Yard's video on that. It was some good stuff in there. And I told Miss Winnie, and I remember, I get emotional about this because it's so real. It's amazing the way God works and the way He plans things out. And again, this is for me. If this reaches out to somebody else, great. You can sit there and you can say, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it, all you want. And you can get mad and you can get frustrated. That's okay. But the key here is not to stay in that lane. Understand what I'm saying? You can't stay in the lane of frustration and anger and pity and this, that, and the other, because it doesn't do anything but bring you down, and that's what the enemy wants to do. So from here, from this point, from this trial, I said, okay, I'm going to go to class. And Steve and I were talking, and Steve and I talked for 15 minutes from my driveway all the way to Tiger Academy of Martial Arts. I pulled up. I said, all right, man, I'll see you in class. I went to go in the door. I closed my eyes. I took a deep breath. And I said, here we go. I said, let's go in and train, focus on what you need to do, and then get out of it and decide what you want to do. Okay? Like I said, I have concerns. I still have those concerns. I'll address those concerns later. We'll get to it. The point that I'm trying to make is, okay, if Jim had not come over and started stretching my legs, this is exactly what God wanted. I had no idea that I was going to get to work with somebody that I liked, get someone that's a personal trainer, get someone that can work with my legs and give me exercises to do by myself as well as together. And now I'm well on my way. And now I'm well on the point of this is where we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. So now we're moving in the right direction. You see, you're moving forward instead of backwards. And see, here's the problem with CP. It's rough. Life is rough. Life is hard. But as Jack Dart said, hard is a state of mind. If you can get past the hard and push through, you can make it. You have to look at the attitude that you're projecting. Everything that you do and everything that you say affects the people around you. And in this, had I given up 10 years, had I stopped and let the enemy win and called Tiger and said, I'm done, cancel my contract, that's it. That slams the door shut on one of the greatest decisions I ever made, to study martial arts. And it's hard. It is. It's hard because everything in life doesn't come easy. So I did what I had to do. I made it through class. I got to the end. I worked it out. And now I'm sitting here doing my show today. And here's where I want to reach. There are people that have CP that are a lot worse off than me. Okay? Some people are confined to their chair 24 hours a day. Some people can't get up and go to the bathroom when they want to. Some people can't straighten out their arms. Some people can't straighten out their legs. Some people have no use of their body from the neck down, and all they have is their mind. But the most amazing thing about this, and the most amazing thing about how God works, is no matter how much you got, God can use you. That's what I understand. And I don't want to say I forgot that, but when you get blinded by emotion, you don't see straight. And when things build up, you don't see straight. And when all of that happens, you get boxed in. You get tunnel vision. You look one way. Now, I want to bring Miss Winnie in on this because as a mom, having a daughter with cerebral palsy, I know with Kelly there has to be frustration, and I just want to ask, in a situation, how does Kelly herself deal with her frustration? Let me ask you that first.
Sometimes she's quiet about it,
mm-hmm.
and sometimes she will display certain different behaviors. Hold on. People outside mowing the lawn. Blowing the grass now. But and sometimes she'll display it in, angry modes.
Mm-hmm.
She'll display different attitudes that we know something is wrong. So when direction change, when positions change, when attitudes change, you pay attention.
Right.
You pay attention, and that's what we do. So she just acts out in different ways that allows us to know that, okay, she's mad about this.
Right.
Normally when she smiles, we say smile. She don't smile. She'll give us an attitude or something like that, and she just in that little mode.
Yeah, just not having it. Yeah.
Yeah, just ain't like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like literally whatever. And it takes her to actually get out of it.
Yeah.
I don't force anything or anything like that. But I do allow her to know that I'm available if she want to talk.
Right.
And it takes a minute for her to actually come out of that.
And I think that's where you just hit the nail right on the head. Sometimes, and even for me, I mean, just in the story that I was just sharing, it's a process the whole way through.
Yeah.
And I know you know this because you and I have talked about it. When you're angry and when your body is so tired, by the time that the anger passes, when you get really upset and when you get really hyped to where you're like, I can't stand this anymore, your body, to let that anger go, when that anger's finished, when the situation is not necessarily resolved, but you get somewhere, your body goes, oh, and you go, man, why am I so sore? Because that emotion affects everything that you do, and it affects the people around you. And like I said, CP ain't no joke. And I mean, you deal with this every day. And I'm sure you get frustrated too as to why does my daughter have to keep going through this? And and for me, like I said, it's compared to what Kelly goes through. My God, I don't see how you do it. I don't see how you and her do it because it's a battle. It's a constant battle. I know you know that. Is it? But I mean, to keep the positive attitude. I mean, I guess there's light at the end of the tunnel too. Correct?
Absolutely.
I mean, I look at it and I'm going back, and I'm sure there's times you and her both wanted to give up. But to push through that perseverance, that light at the end of the tunnel. I just talked about it, and Kelly is, you said 33. I mean, that's 33 years of strength and fight. You can't quit. You can't quit now because you're already almost over a quarter of the way through.
Right.
How does she inspire you, Miss Wilson? How does she inspire you?
I am her mommy's daughter. That's what she says all the time. She said, I am my mommy's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Lately, I've been on Facebook and I'll show pictures of Kelly and I'll speak as if I was Kelly. And I did so today as well. Kelly is admired by me a lot. And I thank God to a certain extent because I see her growth in that. Like certain things she want to wear, or, you know, when it comes to jewelry, or she see a hat or hair or something like that. And it lets me know that she's paying attention and that there's growth in Kelly. And I have to look at and be reminded that she is 33 when it comes to certain things that, you know, she asks for. But as far as we know, I am her mommy. She love her mommy. She want to hang with her mommy, be with her mommy, go everywhere with her mommy. I thank God that I am the person that I am, that does not do anything wrong or bad in
to hurt her. I mean, as far as, you know, to keep it.
Go ahead.
Just, you're always putting her in a positive direction is what I was trying to say.
I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have to do that because of her disability. I'm very careful of what I put in front of her because she will mimic. So I put positivity in front of her so she go out in the community. And
mimics the positive.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you
from one day last week when she had a moment?
Yeah, I saw that, and it's kind of one of the reasons I asked this question. You know, she's allowed to have a moment. You
Absolutely.
know, because that's real.
Yeah.
And that's what people have to realize when you're confined to a chair and it's you can't get out when you want to, you can't stretch when you want to, you have to communicate the best way you can. It's frustrating as HE double hockey sticks up in there. Because you can't. I see. I had to be positive on let go there for a minute. I ain't want to. Because I know, you know, there was things when I was little. Mommy, why can't I do this? Mommy, why can't I get out and run like them? Mommy, why can't I go play soccer? Mom, because Mom didn't want to hurt me. Mom didn't want to put me out in that situation. But where for me, as I got older, it became a little different. For Kelly, everything is about communication, and everything has to be communicated. And if you're, you know, if it's not you, it's Corey, and that's where the benefit of that family unit comes into play, because her and Corey are inseparable too, and I've seen it. Is it hard for you as a mom to go through when she struggles? I mean, I know the answer, but because when she hurts, you hurt.
You know, DJ, the hardest part is knowing that she can't, right? She can't do a lot of things on her own, so she have to wait for everything. She have to wait to be fed. She have to wait to go to the bathroom. She have to wait to go to bed. She have to wait to get out of her chair. She have to wait to get dressed. She cannot do any of those things on her own. It hurts me. Oh, Jesus. It hurts me a lot because, you know, then she got siblings.
Yeah.
So she has an older sister, a younger sister, and a younger brother. You know, they're all, 35, 33, 28, and 27. And, I mean, 29 and 28. So to see that, I still get emotional about that.
I understand. I can hear it.
Yeah, but to see them out, you know, being able to do things and this and that. Sometimes I sit home and I'm with Kelly and I'm like, gosh, she can't do these things. What would she be doing? You know, and would she be close to Ebony because she's 2 years younger than Ebony and 3 years older than Kanisha? You know, would she be close to them? But she would be right in the middle with them. What would she be doing? Would she be out in college? Would she have a job? Would she live in Virginia? Or stay in Maryland? Would she be married, not married? You know, so it's a lot of what would she be doing? You know, so yes, it hurts me to see Kelly when she's upset and knowing some things I cannot fix. I cannot fix some of the things that she wants to be fixed.
You can't put the Band-Aid on the proverbial big boo-boo that's there. Yeah.
And it's very disappointing and it hurts. And, you know, that's just another part of life of caring for her that I have to accept. And always find the best answers and best way to heal it, soothe it, fix it, mend it, mend it all together. So she would understand in the best way that she can, and want to receive it.
Well, one thing I noticed with Kelly that brightens up the room is when she talks to people. So even though she has her own way of communicating, the family, her brothers and sisters, there's got to be a closeness there too, because it's Kelly, and you can't not love Kelly. I mean, you cannot just not go up to her and just melt. I mean, as far as, because I've only been around a little over a year. Does it help with a close-knit family? I mean, especially with Corey and you?
Yeah, yes, it does. And everybody knows her, even down to Callie.
That
just turned 6. My mom, I went and gave Kelly her cup. Mama, Kelly asked for chips. She'll go get chips. So she even takes time and help out. And, she knows there's something different with Kelly. She may not know the full extent of it, but she knows Kelly can't do certain things on her own. So Callie takes the step to just move ahead and do things for her. And
as she gets and as she gets older, she's going to take on that sisterly role of that too. I mean, because she's already doing it. Yeah. Let me ask you this. We've got about I'd say about 8 minutes left in the show. I want to ask this. I'm going to do part of it. If I had to deliver the most positive message that I could about cerebral palsy for those of you that have stayed, and I appreciate, we've got the comments lit up in here. The most positive thing I can deliver about cerebral palsy is not a disease. It's a birth defect. And people have cerebral palsy. It's not something you can catch. Remember that people with CP are still people. And you cannot get away from talking to a person with cerebral palsy, because I guarantee you, if you talk to a person with cerebral palsy, whether they talk slowly, whether they talk fast, whether they don't talk at all, whether they talk with the communication board, if you stop long enough, if you slow down long enough to talk to a person with cerebral palsy, you will learn something that you've never learned before. What would your message be for those that are trying to connect with someone with CP, maybe on Kelly's behalf or through Kelly's choice, or what would your positive message be for cerebral palsy in this way?
Just say hi. You don't have to stare. Just say hi. I think people are afraid or don't know what to say. So they just look. And I think the community needs to know that it's okay to say hi. She's normal. She just do things a little different. That's it. Just a little different. She may not speak like you. She speak just a little different. She might not be on her age level because she's intellectually and developmentally delayed. She just does things just a little different. But the positiveness on this part is, again, well, you said it, and I was thinking when you were saying it, it's not a disease. It's only a condition where one does things different. They could be your best friend. People with CP could work. People with CP could be in the community. And I think people fail to realize is that it's just different levels of CP. Just different levels. That's it.
When we were at the network mixer a couple of months ago, and the artist Bono was doing the painting of Kelly, I remember he told the story that he had dropped his brush, and Kelly said, "Oh, you dropped your brush," and he turned and he said, "What was amazing to me is she didn't even know me, and yet she still communicated with me to tell me exactly where my brush was." So, I hear there may be a developmental delay. I don't even want to say that, It's a developmental difference.
That's why I say she just does it a little
Yeah,
different.
she does it a little different.
Mhm.
And you can be having the worst day ever. It can be just, I mean, on the floor looking down, done lost everything. You go over to Kelly and she smiles and tells you everything is going to be okay. You cannot smile. You cannot not smile at that.
You know, speaking of that, it's like I feel like I don't know if you saw the post I posted this morning, but I feel like God gave Kelly to me for a reason, and it's like when I'm in my moments, it's like all out of nowhere. Ma, you okay? She could be in her room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere. Ma, you okay?
Uh-huh.
Every single time it catch me off guard, and I'm thinking,
How?
She knows.
How? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's truly a connection. It's truly a connection. And you know, I mean, this might sound a little crazy because, you know, when it was time for delivery, 3 times they sent me away. So I held her in just long enough to have that connection, that tight net connection. God ended that thing where Kelly know my emotions and I know hers. And it's like she feel my spirit.
Yeah.
Really feels my spirit. And she knows when something. Mama, you okay? We could be in the car and I may not say nothing.
Mama, you okay?
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
She knows she did something wrong, and I might not say nothing. She'll be like, Mom, I'm sorry. You know?
Wow.
Crazy how Kelly connects like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, even as we close out, if you remember Calvin and his brother, you know, he talked about I was feeling sorry for myself and I was going down the hallway, and his brother, I cannot remember his brother's name. Yeah,
it was Tony as the brother.
I meant Tony. Yeah, Tony. Calvin is his brother. Calvin got on the floor and opened the door and crawled to the hallway where Tony was and said, "Stop that." And knew. And I'm like, huh? So you are connected. I mean, there is a connection. And that connection is a motherly bond that no one else can ever have.
Yeah.
So it's valued. And this show right here, this was helpful. This was helpful for me, and I hope it helps someone else. Guys, again, I want to mention this real quick. You can comment here. We're live on Let Go Radio. You guys need to listen to the station, letgoradio.net. I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. Please go to my YouTube channel, The Sports Minion Radio Show. You catch me every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. I have an email. You can email the sportsminionradioshow at yahoo.com. I'm sorry I did not get to the email bag today, but I had to close the bag for the day because I had a message to deliver and I wanted to get it out there. I want to send a special thank you to Kelly's Choice Cares and Miss Edwina Wilson for being on the show with us today. All of my friends that joined. Charles, thank you so much for joining in with us. We appreciate it. I go, James, thank you for coming in. Everybody that came in and listened to this show, I'm here every Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and this meant so much today. Thank you guys for listening. And I always say, if you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. This is D to the J with the roll away. We'll see you next week at 2 o'clock where I deliver the sports and other messages the best way I possibly can. Thank you guys so much. I love you all, and take care. We'll see you next week at 2 o'clock on the Sports Minion Radio Show.